What is going on, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. I am back with another video. This time is going to be a little bit different. So we're kind of doing a vlog style in a way, but not in the garage this time, which I never do or rarely do. But I'm supposed to do, or not supposed to, we're going to be doing a ride with my V4R, the $100,000 V4R, and my buddy's Superleggera, which is also stock $100,000. We're here and we have the two bikes until my friend shows up, and then we're gonna go ride. We're gonna be talking about $100,000 modified versus $100,000 stock from factory. The fans finally turned off on my V4R because obviously I rode this beauty over here. We got a nice beautiful sunset as well. I low-key might pause this and might get a few reels for the Instagram and all, because this is looking absolutely beautiful right now. Look at these two machines. I have talked about wanting to get the Superleggera wings on my V4R, so comments below if you guys think I should do that. I just think they look absolutely aggressive, completely doing them just for the looks. Yeah, I honestly think that the whole fairing has to be like different, because these are kind of like designed and indented for this. This completely has a different redesign, so I don't know if we'll do that. They do sit lower too, so I'm assuming that the upper fairing is gonna have a gap right here because the Superleggera wings sit lower. So now that I'm looking at them back to back next to each other, I don't think it's actually a good idea unless I just do the lower winglets right here over there, which will still look cool, but I don't know. I don't think I'm gonna do it. I don't want to be like a Superleggera kind of like, you know, look-alike. It's kind of what I did with the V4 with the H2. Actually, I put the H2R wings on it, but back then I didn't know that I was gonna buy an H2R anytime soon. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do it for the aesthetic, and I put the H2R wings on it because the H2 doesn't have wings at all. So I was like, at least now I have wings, you know. And I full sent it and they did all the wings, all four. But at least the V4R does have these winglets, which do look great in my opinion. But when you compare and you put this next to it, it definitely looks way less aggressive next to the Superleggera. I'm gonna get some like videos for the sunset and all, and after that we're gonna go inside, take these two bikes inside so we have better lighting, and we'll talk about the differences between my modified 100K, I guess I can call it the V4K since it's my design on a V4R of a 100K build, kind of similar to the V4 Superleggera, which is Ducati's $100,000 bike. All right, I got a few reels from the Instagram. Follow me, same name as the YouTube channel. And we brought the bike in. Look at these beauties in this lighting over here. Beautiful Superleggera, only 500 in the world. And the V4R, technically there's 1,000 in the world. It was made in 2 years. That is why there's 1,000. So it's 500 in 2019 and 500 in 2020. And I believe there's only 500 of these in the world, and these are numbered, unlike the V4R, which is not. And you can see the number here on the triple tree, $200,000 bikes. And I'm not gonna lie, my design was pretty much a V4R. I wanted to keep some V4R aspects, such as the silver tank. I was very tempted to do a carbon tank, but the reason I kept that brushed aluminum silver is actually because, you know, that's a signature look for the V4R, as well as the dry clutch and as well as a few features. But specifically the silver tank, that's kind of when Ducati did that with the V4R, and that's why I kept that. Besides that, this bike is also completely carbon fiber, just like the Superleggera, but not completely. The Superleggera still has parts that you pretty much can't get aftermarket whatsoever, such as the frame. This bike comes with a completely carbon fiber frame, and not only that, but also a full carbon fiber subframe, as you guys can see right here. So this is not a cover. This is actually a full carbon. You pretty much can't get. This is Ducati exclusive. For my bike, it may look like a carbon fiber, but it's actually just a carbon fiber cover, and under that you can see here, it's still the OEM frame. So carbon covers over here. This bike does have also a full carbon subframe, completely carbon fiber. There is an option for this where you can do a full carbon subframe, which will definitely reduce a lot of weight, but I haven't done this because I wanted to do a custom design on this tailpiece. The main reason why my bike is pretty expensive is because I have a lot of parts are custom made for this bike, which obviously makes the price super expensive. Similar to the Superleggera, this bike was handmade by Ducati, or hand built, I should say. Not to mention that pretty much this bike is full carbon and full titanium. So all the bolts that they use come titanium from the factory. You guys know that I'm obsessed with titanium. If you guys haven't checked any of my other builds, such as the Rush has a ton of titanium now, my M1000, my H2R, and of course this one as well. This is actually the one that started the titanium obsession. I don't have nearly as much titanium on this bike, but what I do have is titanium stuff that I bought initially when I was doing work on this, such as this nut over here is titanium. Such details such as like this is titanium, and this over here is carbon and titanium. So I have a lot of titanium throughout on my V4R as well, but obviously not nearly as much as the Superleggera. My bike build is actually not complete. I am going to be upgrading my brake rotors. I might be upgrading my calipers as well, and I definitely want to upgrade the forks. I think I want to do something just like this because I do like the black forks better than the gold. It just looks a lot cleaner black than gold, even though I do have the golden shock back here, but I figured that I can actually get a carbon cover for this piece, and this is the only thing that's going to stay gold. Or if I really want to go crazy, I can upgrade the spring as well to a titanium spring, just like the Superleggera over here. If you guys see, this is a titanium spring over there, but it still has a little bit of gold matching a little bit of gold down here, which looks absolutely great. So that's kind of like where I'm going with this. I'm not sure if I'm going to do the spring, but I would definitely do a carbon cover for this and replace my forks to something that is a little bit better. Or I know there's an option of carbon fiber fork tubes, or yeah, so pretty much just the tube. So I'm not going to change the entire internals of the forks, but just the outside of it, the tube, instead of gold, it'll be carbon fiber, which will be very amazing. So that is definitely an option too. This bike obviously comes with stock carbon fiber wheels. On my bike, I've put the forged carbon fiber wheels. Both of these bikes have the dry clutch, which is also a signature Ducati. I don't want to say Ducati, but a special Ducati model. So usually like the rare Ducatis, I believe the only modern ones or the V4 variants that have a dry clutch are the Superleggera, the V4R, and the SPs. So these are usually the only bikes that have the dry clutch, which is a race clutch that is better for performance, but it's a love-hate relationship with this thing because you're supposed to service it every 1,500 miles, which is absolutely ridiculous, and it's pretty pricey. And also at the same time, it is definitely not as smooth as a wet clutch in my opinion. So it sounds interesting. If you know, you know. It kind of grows on you. At first I didn't like it, but I grew to like the dry clutch because it kind of resembles that uniqueness, you know what I mean? Similar thing to the tank that I was talking about. At first I was like, why they do a silver tank? Because it kind of doesn't go with anything else. But after a while I kind of grew to like it because I don't know, it just shows that hey, this is a V4R, makes it stand out a little bit more than the other models. Both of these bikes make the same horsepower. The V4R is the only other bike that has the same engine as the V4 Superleggera. They're both 1,000 cc's, so they're not 1100s like the V4, V4S, and the V4 SP. Those are a different engine than these two models. This bike actually starts at, I think MSRP is at like 40 or 45. This one is obviously 100, and I've put pretty much the same amount of money that this bike costs back into parts, because as I said, almost everything on here is custom. These side fairings over here are full carbon that have been painted red. This is what I said where I took some hints from Ducati, obviously, because I wanted this to be, I don't want to make it like completely like my bike. I wanted people to know that this is still a Ducati, but create my own twist on it. And how I did that is, as you guys can see, this design right here where this is exposed right here, and then the rest is painted, as well as the front right here, this is exposed, and then I left an exposed strip right down connecting to the belly pan. This belly pan, actually, if you guys notice, it has extra vents, unlike this one, because this is the new model. I bought a belly pan from the 2023, I believe, models, and I fitted it onto my V4R. So this is a mixture of a V4, the newer model V4s, the V4 Superleggera, just as I showed you in the paint, it has that similar strip and a similar kind of like design. It's full carbon as well, that has been painted on the Superleggera. I did not want to put the white stripes on the Superleggera because that is very kind of like unique to the Superleggera. That's why I kept this. As I said, I don't want to be a complete Superleggera lookalike, but I definitely appreciate what Ducati has done. Ducati, obviously, they're masters of producing beautiful machines like this, so I really like that design of how it's exposed, and then that strip that connects to the carbon belly in the bottom. I have brake ducts, honestly, just for looks. I don't really need to cool down my brakes because I don't track this bike. It's more for like a showpiece, an expensive bike. But yeah, I was talking about the horsepower. Both of these bikes make the same horsepower, and actually I do plan in the future to put both of them on the dyno, hopefully on the same day, so we can see literally back to back. I don't think a Superleggera has ever been on a dyno, so we'll be really curious to see what it does. Superleggera comes with a Ducati up map that comes with that exhaust, so you also get the full system acro exhaust on this thing, which is a dual tip, one on this side and one down here, like my bike over here, which also has this exact same acro full system. And I'm pretty sure they first designed this system for the V4R because they announced when they revealed the V4R, and that's when this bike became kind of like my dream bike, that with this system, this bike makes, I believe, like 234 or 235 horsepower, which is absolutely insane with that exhaust and up map. This bike currently has, of course, an upgrade air filter and a tune and the full system. So technically, it should make a little bit more than this because this only has an up map, which is just a flash designed by Ducati, but pretty sure it will be somewhat close. But usually a custom dyno tune will make a little bit more horsepower than just a regular up map. I definitely want to dyno tune this bike and get it kind of like running as perfect as possible, as well as seeing how much it makes and seeing how much the Superleggera makes, and if they actually make the same horsepower at 234, I believe. The most expensive part, obviously, that I was talking about over here, and the main reason why I didn't want to do the carbon subframe is to do a lot of custom pieces like this. I wanted to do a different tail design, as you guys can see right here, with the vents and then the stripe with a clear coat over it, and of course it says Panigale V4R. And if you guys look very closely over here, the Panigale V4 is actually in a silver color, similar to the tank. It's not, it might look a little white, but if you kind of go back and look at both of them, it looks more silver and it's not white, to kind of match this. If you can see here, this is fully white on the side fairing. Of course, I got the V4R custom seat. This is custom. Most of these like carbon pieces over here are custom, and since I have the carbon fiber wheels on this bike like this, which comes with its own twill carbon wheels, I wanted to do some more forged carbon touches to make the bike kind of match. I don't want the carbon wheels be the only thing that is forged carbon, so there's minor hints and details, such as I have these mirror block offs over here, which are also forged carbon. Pretty hard to see, especially because they're that matte finish, but you can see the lever guard a little bit better. Forged carbon over here, and we have the tail tidy as well, which is forged carbon, as you can see right here. And as much as I can, even like the underbelly right here is also carbon. So as much as I can do that it's carbon without kind of like taking away from the V4R, I've done in carbon. I definitely have a few more plans coming for this. I'm gonna upgrade probably the engine mounts over here and the shock ones on the other side. I do want to upgrade the brakes, as I've said, and probably the forks and all that. This of course has upgraded carbon levers. We also have the clip-ons. We have an upgraded triple tree, a ring nut, carbon fiber everywhere you can see, even inside the bike, even on top here, covering the gauge cluster, all the way even to the gas cap itself. I definitely think it came out how I wanted it. Definitely proud of this build, and it's by far my most expensive and most work and hours that I've put into a build. Of course, it's never over, so we can always do more, and I do plan on doing more to it, but my goal for it was to make it my own $100,000 build. Now, technically, if you're comparing these two, yeah, people might say that this is really expensive for a $100,000 bike, but honestly, for the package that you get, it's actually not that bad. As I said, since these bikes share the same engine, most of the like body and all that is similar. I mean, the exhaust system alone is a $7,000 upgrade, and you have carbon wheels, which are another like $5,000, and then all the custom carbon and bodywork and the titanium. It comes out to be actually a bargain when you get this bike. So it's actually, it might be a ridiculous price, but if you want to make such a build, and keep in mind it's still not like this, because as I said, this carbon frame probably cost thousands of dollars, which as I said I cannot get. Like for example, if I did a carbon subframe, I'm pretty sure that was around $3,000, which, believe it or not, all these custom carbon pieces over here came out to somewhat similar to how much a full carbon subframe is, because of all these like custom pieces and parts. We also have, as I said, there's custom parts everywhere, such as this over here. I forgot to show you the other side, but there's a ton more carbon everywhere else. All type of carbon fiber covers for the engine casing and stuff like that. I was also debating doing a black kickstand similar to the Superleggera, because I actually think the silver matches the tank, so that's why I left it. But that's also why, now that I'm thinking about it, if I do get the titanium silver shock, I think that would look good as a trio, because you can actually, it'll probably just blend in and you won't see it. This isn't a very expensive part, obviously, that's why I'm like not sure about it, if it's worth it or not. Either way, the main priority is the fork tube, so we can change that into either black or carbon. Now they do make a carbon fiber, I forgot what it's called, like a stay or something like that, which is this magnesium piece right here. They make this in carbon as well, but the only reason I didn't buy this in carbon and I really wanted it is because the Superleggera doesn't even have it. Superleggera kept the magnesium, and as I said, this bike is completely carbon and titanium, so I'm like, if they kept it on this bike, then they probably have a good reason for structural support or something like that, because obviously Ducati spends a ton of money in designing these motorcycles and all. I kept mine as well, just to not risk, you know, damaging anything. Also, let me know down in the comments below, what do you guys think about upgrading my, these are braided steel lines, but what do you think about upgrading the lines to red? I think I'm gonna do that. I think a little touch of red over here will be nice. I might add a few touches of red, such as this piece right here. I'm gonna upgrade it to like a nice machined aluminum piece. I might even replace this titanium cap over here and make it red, so we have like more kind of red touches, just like this and this over here, a little bit more throughout the bike. I also do plan on buying a scale very soon, because I mean, I don't have room in my garage, if you guys know. I want to get a scale. Maybe I'll leave it in the shop over here actually, so we can weigh some of these bikes, because Superleggera stands for super light, and I would be very curious to see how much this weighs, because it's, you know, the Superleggera, and how much mine weighs with its full carbon fiber build. Obviously the two main differences where I think this will beat it is the fact that it has the full carbon frame and full carbon, I want to say, subframe and the swing arm, while this only has covers, which technically would add weight, but it's carbon, so just a little bit of weight. So this definitely should be a little bit lighter. Weight wasn't my concern when I was building this bike. There's parts that are extra, such as like lever guards and ducts and all type of parts where I wasn't like kind of the most caring about weight savings on this thing. But obviously it's still going to be lighter than stock, since it has a full titanium exhaust system, so just like this one, and carbon wheels, ceramic bearings, all type of like accessories. I even upgraded my rear rotor, and soon, as I said, we're going to be working on the front as well, brake system. Seeing the two next to each other in depth, I tried to show you guys as much of the two bikes as possible. These two are so identical. This is just my version of a Superleggera. Maybe we'll get an older Superleggera, or maybe we'll get one day down the line when they make the next generation of the Superleggera. So we never know, but we'll see. Stay tuned, subscribe please to the channel, because we're going to be doing more comparisons between these two, more life comparisons, if you would say. I definitely want to race the two, and also I would like to weigh both of them and put them both on the dyno. So we might do that all together at some point, where we like weigh them, put them on the dyno, and then put them head to head, the V4R against the Superleggera. Let's see what does better. Please drop a like and subscribe, and the next video is going to be us riding these two bikes together. also beautiful at the same time. Now the Superleggera, which should sound identical, but let me know if you guys hear a difference as well. I love that they also give you a special key for the Superleggera. As you guys see, it is different. My key is also custom. I got this nice machined aluminum red piece cover over it, but if I didn't have this, it would be just a regular plastic Ducati key, just like the V4 and the V4S. So that's another little part that I forgot to talk about. And it has also the number of the bike, since, as I said, it's a limited model, on the other side. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please drop a like and subscribe. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out and ride safe.